Cravings, midnight cravings, sugar cravings, unwanted in-between cravings. We all have them, and the urges to eat something or the other the entire day. What are these food cravings? What triggers them? And what can be the best tips to reduce them to minimum is something that we are going to discuss in this video. Hello everybody, I am Somya Luhadia and I'm a health and fitness coach and an elite nutritionist which help women develop a healthy lifestyle. So yes, let's get into the video. So the urge to eat something the entire day, even when you are full and you are done with the meal, comes with either deficiencies in your body or because of extrinsic factors. That means whenever you see something on a television and you want to eat it. Along with that, there can be an easy access to food, and when you're surrounded with something that's called hyperpalatable food, you tend to get urges of eating them even when you're full. So these are called cravings, and these are how they are induced in your body. So whenever you eat something, there's a hormone called glucagon that's released from your digestive tract and a hormone called leptin that's released from your fat cells. Both of them signals your brain that you are done for the day and gives a feeling of fullness to your body. Similarly, when you're hungry, a hormone called ghrelin is released from your body that signals your brain that you're hungry and you need something to eat at that particular time. What actually craving does, when you are surrounded with hyperpalatable foods or these extrinsic patterns that you have developed for yourself, or there are deficiencies in your body, it confuses your brain and release ghrelin out of stress and not out of hunger. And as a result, your brain gets confused, and even when you're not hungry, you are attracted towards these unwanted hyperpalatable food items. So when I say hyperpalatable, that means high sugar food or a high fat diet. Animal studies have shown that when you are surrounded by, or when you have developed a pattern of eating regularly high fat diet or high sugar diet, then you confuse your brain by signaling them wrong, and therefore leading to stress eating and releasing hormones at unwanted times, leading to unwanted cravings. So foods like French fries, bhujia, all of them contain high fat, high sodium and high sugar. All of them, when eaten, actually gives you a comforting feeling, and that comforting feeling signals your brain that you want them more. So what are the triggers of this craving? First has to be stress, as I mentioned. When there is a chronic stress, that is having stress over a prolonged period of time, there is a hormone called cortisol gets released because of the disturbance in the brain signaling that's happening. And when the cortisol is increased, your hunger appetite is also increased, and as a result, these unwanted cravings also increase. So yes, stress works very negatively with your food craving. Second is sleep. Adequate sleep helps to regulate your metabolic function, and similarly, lack of sleep leads to imbalances in your hormones called leptin and ghrelin. That leads to increase in cortisol levels and also imbalances in your body, making sure that you get attracted to high sugary food, high fatty food, and that's the reason that most of the time when you're not sleeping on time leads to midnight craving. Next important factor is deficiencies. We don't know this, but most of the time when we are deficient in magnesium, chromium and tryptophan, we are more likely to have developed sugar cravings or unwanted snack cravings in between the day. So get yourself tested, and if you are deficient in any of those important vitamins and minerals, then you have to figure that out and how to supplement it with balanced nutrition meals. Last but not the least, the common trigger that happens with all of us when it comes to food craving is the extrinsic hunger that comes with easy access to food. When you go for a grocery shopping, even if you don't want something, you bring that home. You surround yourself with a hyperpalatable food. That means chips, namkeen, like juices. When you see them around, you tend to have them more and more, and you want to crave about it. Similarly, developing a behavioral pattern. As I mentioned in the beginning itself, when you see a television and when you have developed a habit of watching a Netflix show with a Coke or with popcorn, then you will always crave for Coke and popcorn while having a Netflix show. This is a behavioral pattern that you have developed for yourself. You have to figure that out for yourself, that the behavioral pattern that you have developed is right for you in a healthy way or is something that you need to exit from, because the addiction that you develop for tobacco and alcohol is no different from the addiction that you develop for your food. Also get rid of these Zomato, Swiggy, and don't order from them every time, because they are making it easy for you to access food even when you're not hungry just by looking at those pictures. Special mention to hormonal changes that happens to women in different phases of life. So when we have our PMS and when we are probably in our pregnancy phase, or when we are leading to menopause, all these time is when hormones are changing, and as a result the food cravings are very normal. So now let's get on to the tips to reduce these food cravings. First and foremost, aim to eat nutritionally dense food and focus on balanced meals. When your meals are balanced with respect to protein, carbs and fats, and is not focused on just high protein or just high carbs or just high fat, all balanced meals, then you are most unlikely to fall for these food cravings, and as a result you will feel full for a longer period of time. Focusing on millets, focusing on whole grains, then focusing on high protein will keep you full for longer period of time. Second important thing to understand is that we are mostly not hungry but thirsty. That urge to have something can be reduced just by having a glass of water. So have and grab a glass of water whenever you feel that there is a craving to happen. Grabbing that glass of water instead of any easy hyperpalatable food is much more healthier. Avoid these long hours of stretched out not eating patterns. Instead, divide your meals throughout the eating window that you have. That means once after every 3 hours, make sure that you eat something so that your metabolism is in check, and also you're not craving for something unhealthy. This way you are full all the time and you know what exactly you are eating, and your body also knows that this is the time when I'm going to get food and will not miscommunicate. This is what happens with me, that most of the time when we're scrolling through social media during midnight and we see a good food blogger or someone consuming large amount of food, we are urged to have that at that particular time. So avoid scrolling through social media, and especially for these particular food challenges and food bloggers at night, because that is not the right time. I know this is going to sound little bit unrealistic, but this is something that is the most realistic thing that you can do and can be a real game changer. So avoid scrolling social media for food bloggers, food videos at night. Last but not the least, kind of unrealistic, but something that's going to change the way that you are approaching your food towards. That means mindfulness. Mindful eating is something that can be a game changer. You understand that what you're eating is how it's going to impact in your body. The time when you see your food, you observe it, you feel it, the texture, the smell, everything. When you absorb each and every aspect of the food that you're consuming, giving time to it, chewing it properly, enjoying each and every bit of flavor of it, I can assure you that your cells know what exactly you are giving to them. You will know when to stop. The hormones will not get miscommunicated. They will have the correct cues on when to stop. The leptin and the glucagon will be released on very correct time, and the ghrelin will not be released when you're not hungry. That means there would be no induced food cravings. So you will have to practice the idea of mindfulness, and it will not come in like 1 day or 2 day or 3 day. It will come over a period of time. But once you start practicing it, giving time to your food, looking at it, feeling its texture, I know that it is difficult to do it in a regular basis, but once you start doing it, even for 1 meal a day, you start practicing mindfulness and you understand when to stop. You're giving full attention and full concentration to the meals that you are consuming. That can be a real game changer, and you will not have any food cravings once you have win over this mindfulness towards eating. So yes, that's it for today's video. These are some important tricks that can actually reduce your food cravings, some important triggers that leads to these cravings, and some tricks that can actually reduce them to minimum. I hope that you will find them useful. If you did, don't forget to let me know in the comments below which are the few practices that you're going to practice from today itself to reduce your food cravings, and what you have actually been doing since a very long time. I would love to hear them from all of you. We'll have to discuss about how the cravings are induced for you and what all things, and if you have any questions for me, I will be happy to answer them in the comments below. So looking forward for your lovely responses, and yes, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon. I will be up with more and more such informative videos for all of you, and I hope you will find this useful as well. So give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye, stay fit, stay happy.